How's it going, everybody? So, this is a video I've wanted to make for a long time. Um, one of my favorite games to play is Sea of Thieves. As you can see over here, or over here, I have the logo for the game up in the corner, um, and the game has gone through a lot of changes within the last handful of years, and I've gotten a lot of people asking me my opinions and stuff like that, and I thought I would just do one big video sort of talking about what I like about the game, what I don't like about the game, things that I would like to see in the future, um, all sorts of stuff. This is going to be a long video, so look, if you don't care about Sea of Thieves, or you don't care about what my opinion is, then this is probably not going to be the video for you. But if you are a Sea of Thieves player, whether you're somebody casual, whether you work for the company, whether you're a Twitch streamer, I invite you to stay and to hear what I have to say and hear my thoughts. I will start off this video just so that everybody's on the same page, though. I am what most people would call a casual gamer. There are definitely games that I enjoy, but I enjoy more story-driven games like Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human. I love the Life is Strange games. To me, obviously I like games that have really good graphics, but graphics and visuals don't really matter much to me. I like to be pulled into a story more than anything, and so that's sort of where I come from with games. The only kind of game that I don't like 100% are turn-based, like RPG games. Like I don't like that kind, but I like platformers. I like party games. I like shooters. I like pretty much everything. I have a ton of games in my Steam library that I don't play just because my instant reaction is not, hey, I've got a few hours, why don't I play a video game? My thing is, hey, I've got a couple hours, I'll watch a movie, because movies are my thing, as you can see by my whole YouTube channel thing. So I want to say that right off the bat. Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, all of that kind of stuff, because I am a very casual gamer. But you know what? I was gonna say something, but I'll say that shortly. So let's get into things. I have separated this into different sections. So let's start off with the first section, which is Toxicity. As much as I complain about this with my friends that play the game with me, and as much as I've said things on the Facebook group, if you are part of the Sea of Thieves Facebook group, I feel like I would be a hypocrite if I did not talk about this. So we're just going to get it out of the way first, because this is not going to be a fun topic. If being called slurs, and if being bullied in a video game is not your thing, then maybe don't play Sea of Thieves, because that is really what happens in this game nowadays. It's frustrating, because I started playing the game, I believe, in the middle of December of 2018, I believe. But I only played once or twice because I had just started chemo, and even the one time that I did play, like, I was so drugged up on chemo shit that everything was blurry, and I don't want to say I didn't enjoy myself, but I really didn't enjoy myself. So really the first time that I played was really the beginning of April of 2019, because that's when I really could jump in and enjoy it. But if we're going to be technical, I did play a few times while I was going through chemo. So I always say December 2018 is when I started playing the game. I had a friend that gifted me the game because they really wanted me to play with them, and I loved it. Even as drugged up and not okay as I was, I fucking loved the game from day. It literally was love at first sight. That's the only way I can describe it. I've never had this kind of affection or love for a game like I have with Sea of Thieves. Um, which I don't want to get ahead of myself because there's a lot that I want to say in the next section. But keeping it to Toxicity, I bring that up to say I've seen the game go from, because every game is going to have a little bit of toxicity, you know. There are just assholes in the world and bullies, and it is just what it is, and you have to learn how to deal with it. And, you know, I don't blame Rare for that at all. But I was lucky enough to be towards the end. I got into Sea of Thieves at the end of the early days of Sea of Thieves. And I got to see the glory days. You know, I mean, that's what I really like to refer to it as. I got to see the glory days where there was a code among players. There was a way that people played with one another and treated one another. You know, I always go back to one of my favorite experiences was me and my crew in a galleon was going up against another galleon, and we lost. But we had so much fun. I mean, we were poking fun at each other and yelling out things over the mic. None of, you know, I mean, just being trolls and having fun, but it never got too serious or out of luck. We were making each other laugh. Both crews were having a blast. And it even became one of those things where after the battle, the other galleon came to the person who was captaining our galleon and said, "Hey, they want us to meet up with them at this island over here and talk about the battle and get to hear it from both sides." And so that's what we did. All 8 of us, galleons part. We didn't have to worry about someone, you know, like betraying the other person. We came to the island and we just swapped stories like, "Oh, well, when this was happening, what were you guys doing then?" And all sorts of stuff like that. And even at the end of it, you know, the captain of their crew was even like, well, you know, you guys have been really great. Here, take these few, you know, smaller treasure items and take it. And we're like, no. It's like, we appreciate it. You know, we get it. But it's like, hey, you guys won the battle fair and square. But it was just that thing, you know, we shared a grog together and just had fun. And I can't tell you how many times that happened. That's one of many times that happened in the following months. You know, I mean, even after even after the Tall Tales came into the game, and even after big updates came through, people were still pretty friendly into the game. Obviously, as the months went on, more and more toxic people started playing the game. But, you know, you dealt with those people accordingly. You know, you did what you could. You reported them when, you know, you could. You let Rare know about it if you had video footage, which we rarely did, but I know other people in the community, you know, would send videos of people using slurs and things like that. But over the last few years, and it started getting bad a few months before the game came out to Steam, but really the influx of toxicity came once the game went to Steam. And it's a really simple answer as to why. It's because you got all of the Call of Duty gamers, first-person shooters, and people that played all of these other games suddenly had easy access to this game, and instead of respecting the culture and those of us that had played the game for a while prior, they took over the space, and yeah, you know, I've had girls, friends of mine that play the game with us, be called all sorts of slurs for women. Well, we've heard the N-word thrown around a lot, and it's sad because in the beginning of days of Sea of Thieves, that didn't happen. That maybe happened maybe twice while I was playing in those early days with us, you know. But it really didn't happen. Most people understood it's a game. We're just here to have fun. If you sink, you sink. If you win, you win. And nobody really took it to those kinds of levels. And so, if I had one issue with Sea of Thieves, it's this. It's the toxicity. But because knowing a little bit, just a wee bit of what happens behind the scenes and how businesses work, I don't know, and this is a legitimate I don't know. I don't know how much of that is Rare's fault or problem. Because of the fact that they're working with Microsoft, and Microsoft is the bigger company, I have to imagine they have to abide by a certain set of rules. And I can't believe that it's one of those things where Rare just wants to sit idly by and not do anything. I literally think it's one of those things where either they don't know what the right move is to do, or they can't make certain moves, at least as of right now. The last thing I will say about this is I hope that eventually they do something soon, because it's getting to a point, at least on the North American servers, where it's kind of ruining the game. I know several people that don't want to play the game anymore because of how toxic it's gotten. It's just not fun. You know, you spend 3 or 4 hours of your night after being at work or doing whatever you're doing that day, and you choose to spend your time investing into this game when you could be playing Halo, you could be playing Elden Ring, you could be playing anything else, but you're choosing to invest your time in Sea of Thieves. And the problem is not the fact that you sink and you lose all your treasure after a big battle. The problem is you have people calling you every which word and name in the book, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's kind of a problem, because, you know, if this was what the game always was, then I wouldn't be having this up here, because I would just take it as, oh well, you know, it's just like any other video game, you just got to deal with it. The problem is, I remember the early days. I remember when it wasn't like this. And I think there's a lot of people that would flock back to the game. And you would probably get a lot of new players that haven't found the game yet, willing to play it if something was done about the toxicity. I don't have the answer or the fix, but at some point, this is going to need to be addressed. So we'll leave it at that. The next section. Is, I want to talk about Rare, the company. And this is where I'm going to kind of kiss ass a little bit. Going back to what I was saying before, I'm not a gamer, you know. My thing is movies. Ever since I was in middle school, I have wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I wanted to be a director or a writer. You know, hell, even being like a caterer for production set. Anything, you know. My favorite thing is movies. That's where my love is. It's not that I haven't played video games or I don't enjoy video games. It's just, you know, not the thing that I go by to describe who I am. You know, I would very much call myself a movie buff before I call myself a gamer. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I'm not a gamer. Going back to those childhood sort of things that you would do as a kid, obviously we all know, at least where I was from, we always did the pirate versus ninja thing, and I was always pirate. And I used to get made fun of all the time because I'd always choose pirates. And look, that's not me saying assassins aren't cool and ninjas aren't cool, but pirates are better. Pirates are just always better. And I have always wanted a pirate experience like this ever since I was a kid. And now, thanks to Rare, we have this. Or this. Yeah, that. I'm mirrored. I always forget. This, Sea of Thieves. And like I said before, it really was one of those things where it was love at first sight. I totally understood what they were building from the beginning. You know, when I first started playing the game, there was only the three factions. You know, Reapers was not a thing yet. We had the Reaper's Mark. There might have been Fort of the Damned by the time I came into the game, or that might have been something that was added as I was playing. But it was definitely just the three main factions. I mean, hell, I remember the game before fishing was a thing, before Hunter's Call. I remember the game before Hunter's Call, alright? I loved it. You know, I loved the fact that it was cosmetic based and not skill based because of learning disabilities and because of the way my brain works and different things. I don't like games where you have to like build characters out and have these long big maps and things. And so I like being able to just jump in and hack and slash or shoot and just that be the mechanics of the game. You know, I loved the simplicity of it, even though Sea of Thieves is far from a simple game. But I loved it. And now I'm sitting at 3,200 hours between the Microsoft version of Sea of Thieves and the Steam version combined. I've clocked in 3,200 hours of gameplay. That is more than I have played any game, any singular game ever. You know, I think the only two games that come close to that are Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and Heavy Rain, because I played Heavy Rains, you know, multiple times to try to get the different endings, but even that doesn't even come close. I mean, we're talking about hundreds versus, you know, 3,000 hours, you know. I love this game. I've also spent more on this game than I have any other game. Between all the ship sets and the costumes and the Emporium, I've easily spent at least $400-500 into this game, minimum. And I'm willing to spend more because I want to support Rare. You know, the thing that people forget, and I often forget at times, is Rare's not a big company. They're a small band of people doing their thing, and I think to for lack of a better term, crap out the things that they're doing, I think it's fucking phenomenal. I mean, I love what they're, I love this world that they've created. I love the Sea of Thieves, and you know, because of that, I do feel kind of protective over it, and it's weird to say, but you know, I don't feel ownership of it at all. You know, I mean, I'm just a player, you know, but I don't want to see bad things happen to it. I want to see this game flourish, and I want to see where this game will be at 10 years from now, you know. So, you know, I just wanted this section to be like, I really wanted to say, like, you know, thank you, Rare, for the game that you've created. I don't know if anybody from Rare will ever see this, but I have had some of my favorite times with my friends. This has grown friendships and bonds, and you know, the one night a week that me and my friends get together to hop into Discord and hop into Sea of Thieves and play is the one night of the week that I look forward to the most. And I have to thank you for that, because without the game we wouldn't have that. So as much as there are things that I wish would be different, I love the experience that you've given me. So thank you. On to the next section. Captaincy. So, gotta talk about Captaincy. This is something that I want in this game. And in a way you could kind of tie this in with the last topic that I want to talk about as well. But For those of you that don't know, Captaincy is a thing that Rare and company have talked about adding into the game from the beginning, which is the idea that you get to have your own ship and name it. You can name it whatever you want, and you can change how the interior, move things around so that ships are different and it's not just default ship. You have like different layouts and things. I want this. Even if it was something that I had to buy in the Emporium. Because look, if you're telling me for $40, I get my own sloop, my own brig, and my own galleon that I get to name whatever I want, and I can have them all different and not like just the default, thing. Yeah, I'd fork out that money for that. Easy. Done. It's my $40 right here. Take my money. I know they're working on it, and I believe them when they say they're working on it. I don't think this is one of those things where they're pulling our leg. Why it's taken so long or what the holdup is, who knows? I don't know anything about coding or gaming, so I have no idea. But I can only imagine with the way that this game runs. I imagine that it's a tangled web. We'll just leave it at that. And so I'm sure they have to make sure any new asset they add into the game doesn't completely screw everything up. But yeah, I would love some more customizable things, and I think Captaincy would be important too, because for those of us that sail together on a regular basis, like, I can name every person that I sail with regularly. And they're all a part of my crew. And it would be cool if, we got rewarded for sailing the seas as much as we do together, So yeah, I think Captaincy should be a thing. There are some added ideas on top of Captaincy that I've heard people mention, or things that they can do. But as cool as those things would be, I don't have to have all those added things. Like people talked about, like there being some kind of leaderboard and like different tasks for crews to do together to gain notoriety up on the seas. That would be cool. I don't have to have that, but I think it would just be cool to just, even if it was just a clock that said, player 1, player 2, and player 3 all sailed together, 8 hours this week, for the month of May, this is how much, this is how much these players have sailed together, that kind of a thing. I think that would be cool, so just want to bring that up. Captaincy, that would be nice. Please and thank you. The next thing is what I like to call the Sea of the Damned. So this is the fun part of the video, because this is where I'm going to be a little bit creative and I want to talk a lot. For those of you that maybe haven't played the game or haven't played the game in a long time, be leery about this section. But here we go. So the Sea of the Damned is when you die and you go to the ferry and you're just waiting there to be able to walk through the door and come back to life. That is, you're on the Sea of the Damned at that point. Now, if you've played the Pirates of the Caribbean Tall Tales, A Pirate's Life, and specifically A Pirate's Life and Captains of the Damned, you will also see, to varying degrees, the Sea of the Damned. What I would love is for Pirate Legends and Pirate Legends only, because look, this isn't going to be like making it unfair to players. It's like what? It takes you like what? Like 25 hours to become Pirate Legend nowadays with Emissary. If you do it right, if you time it with Golden Glory and other things, and if you're like, it's not hard to become Pirate Legend anymore, okay? So for me to ask for things for just Pirate Legends, I don't want anyone to give me any trouble. It's like, okay, it's like, look, play the game like I did. You'll get there. Don't worry about it. And when you do, you'll have access to exclusive stuff too. Um, but what I would love is for a Sea of the Damned map that only Pirate Legends can access. And I kind of made this sort of graphic like taking images from Rare and what I found on Google. Like, they're not mine. I want to say that clearly. Like, I'm not trying to make any money off of it. This is just supposed to be like an example of what I'm talking about. But this. So the idea that I have is that I just took the Ancient Isles and turned it sideways. You could, just to show that you could have a good sized area if you wanted to. But the idea is, I think it would be cool to have the Sea of the Damned and have all of these places that are in the Tall Tales also there that you could just go visit on your own. And, you know, I figured you could have them at the four corners of the map. You know, you could have, you know, the Whispering Bayou up at the top left, you know, something like that, and Sailor's Grave down at the bottom, Tavern of the Damned, and Islet to Sorrow. You know, maybe those could be the like, I also made this little nugget, which is basically I took a gold coin and I turned it ghost green color, because I think it would be cool if for Pirate Legends there was another set. We already have the ghost set in the game, so it wouldn't be that hard to do. You know, maybe you have to go to one of the madams, and if you want to buy anything in the Sea of the Damned shops, you have to go to the madame and tell her how many gold coins you want to convert, and she'll convert your money into ghost coins. And then when you go into the Sea of the Damned, you can buy stuff there. You can buy ship sets to use on your ship sets. You know, you can maybe buy different costumes. Maybe only certain weapons and only certain things work in the Damned because, you know, you're dead. You know, maybe there are different things like that, but, you know, it's only for Pirate Legends. And so if you want to, you know, be down there, you have to be willing. Like, maybe for things to work down there, you can only wear your ghost themed clothes and weapons, or your Dark Adventures, you know, weapons, you know, because those are the only things that work down there, or your Soul Flame, you know, costume and weapons. And if you don't have any of that, then you can't access this world because it has to do something with the mythos in there. And again, I didn't change the name to any of the islands on here. I mean, it's clearly, I just literally like copy and pasted Ancient Isles, but, you know, you could have like all the different islands. I thought, you know, instead of like Crook's Hollow, it could be, you know, like Shriek's Hollow, you know, you could do like ghostly, you know, named islands. You know, maybe they could poll players and see what the fan favorite islands are that people enjoy, and then whatever people's favorite islands are, they can kind of do an amalgamation of everybody's favorite islands from, you know, the Devil's Roar and the Wilds and the Shores of Plenty, and do like ghost variations of them. You could have like Crook's Hollow and Ruby's Fall and Old Faithful Isle and Snake Island and everything, but they have like different names and they look different because they're like the ghost versions of the islands. You know, maybe every player gets to pick, you know, their 10, if you're a Pirate Legend, maybe you get to pick your 10 favorite islands on the map, and then Rare takes whatever, you know, the 10 islands are, and makes that the map for the Sea of the Damned. And because I think it's a shame that the only time we get to visit, you know, Islet to Sorrow or, you know, Sailor's Grave is when we're doing the Tall Tale. I think it would be fun to be able to just go and just hang out and be able to walk around this beautiful kind of little land. But I don't think it should be available just to anybody. I think, you know, you should have a special missions to do there. Like, maybe you have to free souls. Maybe you have to go find lost souls and bring back the souls to somebody on the island. Maybe there's, you know, order. Maybe there's like an Order of Souls faction. Maybe in the Land of the Dead, Order of Souls is the only faction down there, and maybe the Ghost Madam works with the Madams all up on, the living world. And then when you're ready to go back into the living world, there are portals, and you just go through a portal and it brings you back into the regular map. I think there's a lot of fun things that you could do with the Sea of the Damned. I would love to see this world built out. I think that would be a lot of fun. Even if the Sea of the Damned had to be all client-based and not server-based like the map is right now, I still think it would be worth, like, look, I will clear up 20, 30 gigs if it means that we get something like this. I'm just saying. So that's my idea for that. Here's the other thing. Here's the next thing. Sea Dog Tavern. So we all know what happened with Sea Dogs in the arena. It closed down. But the arena is still on the map, which I find fascinating. Now maybe it's just there just for memory's sake, and I haven't actually gone to check it out since it's closed. Maybe they've changed it a little. I don't know. I could be completely talking out of my ass, because maybe some of this is already a thing. What I think would be cool is, normally before when an arena was open, you could go around and walk around, but the doors were shut and you couldn't go inside and see inside the arena. But we all know if you play arena, there was a lobby and you got to actually go inside the tavern and see the inside. We got to jump around, the beams and get in the hot tub and all of the different things in the lobby. I want that in the game. I think, we talk about how we want like a Tortuga area in Sea of Thieves where you can do different, like where you can play card games with other crews and get into fights and get into tussles, but just have like a little like gambling area and just like a fun area to play. They need to open that building up for the Sea Dog Tavern and have that be a place where crews can go to just kind of chill and relax. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that's something that they should do. Again, maybe they already did that and I just didn't know, but I'm just throwing that idea out there. But the last thing I want to talk about is this. Pyro Legend Isle. Look. This is where this kind of all goes back into Captaincy a little bit, too. I want a Pyro Legend Isle. And there are people, and you can find it if you search on Google, there are people that have done like concept art, and have worked on little ideas for different things. I'm not going to name names or names of projects, but there's some really cool stuff that people have thought of. But my idea, what I would like to see, is, look, I would totally be willing to pay for, again, in the Emporium, we're talking about real world money. Again, I would spend $60, $70 to have my own Pirate Legend Isle. As long as I'm promised that this island isn't going anywhere, as long as Sea of Thieves is a game, even if it has to be client-based and I have to make sure my computer can run the island, I'm cool with that. I think it would be cool if we had a little island where, you had your own tavern. Maybe you had like, 10 or 12 rooms. You could have like the captain's room, which would be my room because I bought the island, or whoever buys the island is the captain of the thing. But then, I can send invites to people who I play with regularly so that if they want to load into the game, they can load in straight to our island, as long as they're a Pirate Legend, I can give them a room. I can send, my one buddy, an invite to this room and another buddy to this room and that room, and they can all come and load into my island instead of loading into like an outpost. I think it would be cool. There's a lot of things that you could do with that. Like I think you could have, again, because again, I'm trying to come up with ideas, but also ways to bring more money to Rare as well. Because like, look, if I have my own tavern, and I got my own island, well, of course I want to be able to customize it too. So more stuff for the Emporium. Imagine having an Eternal Freedom themed tavern. Imagine having an Ocean Crawler tavern. Imagine having, a Royal Squirrel tavern. All of these different like ship sets and styles that we have in the Emporium, you could make your tavern look like that. Make it fit, and maybe when I'm back on the island, I have all three of the ships. If I've bought it on the tavern, if I have Captaincy, any ship that I bought with Captaincy loads it on my island, and so, whatever ship we choose to embark on and ride into the portal, that is our way of getting into the game. If we all jump into the galleon, well, we're doing a galleon today. If we jump into the brig, we're doing a brig today. So on and so forth. There also, I think, could be, a tall tale island you could do. Maybe there's another, maybe akin to the Maiden Voyage. There's a pirate legend tall tale there, and there's books all around your island that you have to find out about the history of this hidden little little isle. There's a lot of different ideas, that you could do. Maybe, you could put your favorite faction on there. So like I like to do gold hoarders the most. So, instead of having to wait till I get into the main game and go to an outpost, I can have a gold hoarders representative right there on the isle where I can just go, I still wouldn't be able to raise flag because to go through the portal, flags can't go through portals. So I would still have to go to an outpost to raise flag if I wanted emissary, but I could go buy a mission, and go on my ship. We could have barrels on the island. So like, if let's say I've played, a 5-hour session and I've got a ship with 500 cannonballs, 200 planks, and an assortment of fruit, I think it would be cool to be able to take my ship back to my island with a storage crate and then fill up the barrels on my island with all of these cannonballs and stuff. And then when I load into the game, I can just go to my barrels and take them back. I think that would be another cool thing to do, in the game. There's a lot of different things that could be done, which I think would be really, really cool. You could have the downstairs where it's like a little hangout, session. There's a little bar. I don't think it needs to be exactly like the tavern at the outpost, because that's supposed to be like an establishment. You want something a little bit more homey for your pirates and things like that, but have a little like bar off to the side for the pirates, kind of like on the ship. Then you have like a sitting area, and maybe like, different things like maybe a table to play liar's dice or cards at, or I just there's a lot that you could do with this. That just make it like a game that people want to jump in and have fun with and play, and garner more people in. Yeah, I just think that would be cool, and I think it would be cool too is like, you could even have the island big enough where, you start off with one tavern with 12 bedrooms on it, right? But then you could add, for more money, maybe for another $20 or something, you can add another tavern. So then you can have 24 people on this one island, And I think that's plenty. I don't think there should be more than that. But, because, I run a Discord, or I'm trying to run a Discord where I get a bunch of people. We have 24 people that play this game. And I don't think it would be fair to use that as a trick to try to get into the game, all of us together, even though that would be cool. But I think it would be cool if, like, hey, everybody alone in Sea of Thieves, come to the hideout. Let's hang out. Let's chill out, and then let's go sail. Let's go sail the seas. I think that would be fun. I think that would be dope. I think Pirate Legend Isle is needed. I think it'd add a lot to the game. And again, there isn't much that I wouldn't be willing to spend money on this game. So if Rare was willing to put it in the game, I would be willing to make whatever concessions financially or space on my computer to be able to do it, because that's how much I love this game. So those are my ideas. That's what I would like to see in the game, and I believe that is everything, because yeah, we just go back to the first thing. So yeah, that is, I love this game, and the last thing that I will say is, in case there's anybody still watching that hasn't played this game yet, um, depending on your temperament, depending on the kind of personality that you have, this may not be a game that you want to play solo or by yourself. There is a very big learning curve, and almost anyone that I know that has tried to learn it by themselves, all bailed. Every single one of them. There's not a single person. Most people who enjoy this game enjoy it because of the camaraderie and playing with other people. That doesn't mean you don't have your solo players, and that doesn't mean you might be, the odd one out. Maybe you will be somebody that enjoys playing the game by yourself. But find yourself a crew, find yourself people to play with, and I think you'll have a blast playing this game. I know buying this game on Steam is where I would recommend buying it if you're going to purchase it. Obviously, I know it's on Game Pass, so that is a good deal if you have Ultimate Game Pass for the PC. But Rare is such a good company, and they really do take care of the community as much as they can. There are, of course, other things that I could complain about. I don't think the last couple seasons have been great for the game, but I love what they're doing with the story. I love the tall tales. I love the adventures that we're getting every month. They're doing as much as there are things that I think that they could be doing better. They're giving me a lot of stuff that I really, really love. And so if you haven't played this game before, I couldn't recommend it more. I really do think that this is probably my favorite video game now. I used to still say Kingdom Hearts is my favorite one, but I think Sea of Thieves has officially surpassed Kingdom Hearts. I love the story, I love the world, and I love being able to have a game that I can jump in and play with my friends. Again, the game's not perfect, but no video game is, especially when you're talking about a massive online multiplayer game. But if you enjoy pirates and you don't mind not having progression, because it's all this game is all cosmetic, but as long as you don't mind that, I think you'll enjoy the game. It's definitely worth giving it a shot. And like I said, especially if you have Game Pass, it's easy. Install that sucker. Try it out. You don't like it? Uninstall it. It's that easy. But I think you're gonna have fun with this game. If you happen to play by yourself and you run into pirates that sink you, make sure to make the distinction between pirates who are just being pirates and pirates who are not nice, because I see a lot of people saying that they didn't have fun because they got sank, but it's like, look, this game has a huge learning curve. It is not nice to new players, and most players that play this game, unfortunately, are not afraid to sink new players. Catch me in the right mood, and I'm not afraid to sink new players. I'm just being real. Sometimes I'm bloodthirsty and I just want your treasure. Just the way it is. Pirate. But other times, hey, if you yell out, hey, I'm new. Okay, cool. Okay, time out. Okay, cool. Friendly. But you just have to keep that in mind. It's like, someone's being an asshole. Okay, cool. Maybe you had a really bad experience, but don't let, as somebody who's played the game since December 2018, don't let one or two bad sessions make you think that this is a bad game. because for every bad session of the game that I've had, I've probably had 20 or 30 good ones. So if you're willing to put the work into it and the time, and if you're willing to find yourself a crew to play with on a regular basis, you're going to love this game. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.